State Senator Jamaal Bailey represents New York's 36th State Senate District and believes that increased access to healthy food and giving people a greater and affordable access to quality health care. So without further ado, welcome to the studio, Jamaal. We're really happy to have you here. It's really such a pleasure. And with our opening here, our grand, beautiful opening at Emerest Connect, I guess hopefully you feel at home because this is part of the community that you serve. It always amazes me how big the Bronx is. It's huge, and your community goes into Westchester.
One of the things about the Bronx that people don't realize, the Bronx is the greenest borough. The Bronx has the most parkland in the entire city of New York.
And that does surprise me. I mean,
we might only be 1.5 million strong, but the resolve of a Bronxite is well beyond the actual number that we have. We are a resourceful people, a strong people, a prideful people, and a powerful people. And I'm glad that we get to partner with great folks like Josh and Emerest Connect to make sure that we're putting actual care into the word care.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, I know that's important to you. I know that you're passionate about that. And being from here, because where did you grow up? Did you say?
I grew up in the Wakefield section of the Bronx.
There you go.
The part of that I also represent, I get to represent it in the state senate. So it's a nice full circle moment.
I bet.
When you get a chance to represent the same streets that you've grown up on, it gives you a greater gravity, a greater sense of understanding what it is that you need to do, what you're called to do to make sure that you're serving those folks that you are employed by to serve, and also figuring out not just what you can do on a reactive way, but also being look forward-looking, looking in the future. What is going to be coming up in our communities that we can make sure that we are right in front of making sure that we're taken care of.
And I bet it must be a real challenge because you have that added layer. You grew up there, and now you feel that responsibility that you're representing where you came from.
Absolutely, like the blocks that I was raised on. I see the courts that.
Oh, that's so wild.
The courts that I used to play basketball on, I get to refurbish.
Is your family still there?
We are still there. We're still in the Bronx, and we're still where we grew up, where I was raised.
Oh wow! They must be so proud of you.
Raising our kids in the Bronx, making sure that we create a better pathway for them and the generations thereafter. Because it's not about what you're doing today. It's about what are you doing today for those individuals that will come after you tomorrow.
And it seems like you're always put in the position where you have to think about the future and the future of your community. Are there some surprises from when you first started? Are there issues that you're tackling now that you didn't even know that they existed?
Certainly. So a couple of things: food insecurity.
I know you're big on that.
You never realize how many people don't eat a well-balanced meal
or
a meal at all. Sometimes the closest food option is a completely unhealthy option, but it's the only option that some people can afford.
Right.
I'm a big proponent of urban agriculture, and what urban agriculture permits us to do is two things. One, it allows us to feed people, which is a basic need, right? But it also allows us to feed people things that are good for them, that can extend and increase their lifetime. Because we want people to be around for a long time.
That's right. Absolutely.
Longevity is critical.
Absolutely. And I think also because of that, when someone's involved in what they're growing and then they're eating, it lends a completely different look to it. And for you, that must feel really good when you're making these changes, and it makes a big difference in people's lives, and you see it every day.
There's a sense of pride, and the entire world is a garden, to use a metaphor. If you think about how seeds are planted and how some people grow.
Oh, that's a good one.
And how some people are watered. Some people require full sun, and others require a little bit of shade. But at the end of the day, we are the gardeners of the next generation, and it's our job to make sure that we literally and metaphorically make sure that the next generation grows. So it's about the next generation of kids, making sure that they know how to grow food, but we know how to grow them, that we know how to make sure that they're taken care of academically, socio-emotionally, in every possible way. We are the gardeners today for the future tomorrow, and I take that responsibility very seriously.
I can tell, and your family is here too.
Absolutely.
So that, as we said, another layer. What do you see as the quality of health care? Are you seeing changes? When you're here at Emerest Connect and some of the things that we do, has that been good for you, that these changes are coming to healthcare workers, to clients in their homes? Are you surprised? Is this something that you're passionate about?
I think it's a great surprise because we're finally realizing that the social determinants of health are not just simply go to the dentist, go to the doctor, and come home. That's not it, right? Those aren't the things that you need. That's not all you need. If you feel good, right, you will perform better.
So true.
Making sure that healthcare workers are taken care of and respect like the heroes that they are is critical.
Absolutely.
That's done here. Making sure that patient care is prioritized, that patients don't feel like a number, they feel like an actual patient. That's done here, right? So when you're really prioritizing the social determinants of health and not just, hey, my arm hurts, or hey, or my head hurts. It's not just giving you a pill and saying go about your merry way.
Absolutely.
Let's figure out what's happening. What are these root causes, and how do we ameliorate? How do we make these root causes better?
Yeah, and as we were talking about it, and it starts from young too. You know, sometimes you don't realize that young kids are not getting food. You know, if you come from a family where you were able to have that, how devastating that can be and affect them as they're growing.
You know, and quite literally, you're talking about growth as a metaphor and also in reality. If we don't feed our children well, they're not eating well-balanced meals, which is why you know, lunch programs in school are important. But it's not just about lunch programs in school. It's about making sure that those parents, that we can equip them to make sure that they're eating well outside of that school day, summer meals, but it's well beyond that. It's about making sure that every Bronxite, every New Yorker, every person in this state and this country has what they need.
Yeah.
Maybe what you want, right? Sometimes luxuries, we can't worry about the luxuries, but we should be able to provide people at a very basic level what they need to survive.
And as the New York State Bronx Senate Codes Chair, what are some of your responsibilities? Like I said, that's a mouthful. That's a great title, but what exactly does that entail?
Sure. So in the New York State Senate, I'm the chair of the Codes Committee.
The Codes Committee.
The Codes Committee, I'm the chair of the Codes Committee. And the Codes Committee, what it does is that it deals with issues related to the penal law, related to you know, criminal justice, related to policing. Those bills come through my committee.
Oh, you have your hands full.
And there's a lot. It's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. But it is an honor to represent, you know, the 36th senatorial district, and you know, the residents of Bronx and the Bronx and Mount Vernon. It's an honor of my life, and you know, to be able to represent them in that realm is critically important from a interpersonal thing, like physically being here, but also legislating, passing responsible laws to make sure that people's lives can improve.
Yeah, and how did you get, I was curious, how did you get started in politics? Was that a passion of your family? Did you see something happen and say, I have to get involved in this?
So a couple things, like my parents were always, and my family was always civically engaged. They always said the old adage, be part of something, be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution, or else you're a part of the problem. Right. So volunteering at church and being involved in student government in high school, but I got my start as a senior in college at the University of Albany.
Nice. Okay.
You know, Assembly Speaker Carl Hasty was then a second-term Assembly member. I was his legislative intern, and from there, I saw the work that he did, and it made me really believe in him. And the power of when you have somebody good, somebody that understands their community, that lives and breathes their community, you can not only be an effective representative, you can be a transformative one. So even in his second term, I was able to see that. And I thought, this is something that I want to be a part of. This is something that I want to do. Went to law school, and after, you know, graduating, was practicing law for a little bit. An opportunity opened up, and then I said, you know, why not run? And here I am.
Wow. So that is some record. And I can imagine being an attorney would be like very challenging, but this even goes a step beyond. What do you see in the future, or do you have anything new that you want to work on? Is every day something really new?
Every time that snooze button comes up on the alarm clock, it's a new day and a chance to do something great.
That is so great.
You know, again, I mentioned urban agriculture. I mentioned making sure that we're healthcare. I just came from a hearing about the family court system. How can we make sure that our courts and the systems of justice are well equipped to make sure that everybody receives adequate treatment? So there's always a myriad of things that we can do. And you know, when I hear from my constituents, when there are things that are happening, are they
vocal? Do they tell you? Like,
they are.
That would be helpful.
They stopped me in ShopRite. They stopped me in the supermarket. Senator Bailey, I got an idea. I have a question. And these are things that we want to encourage. I want you to stop me there, right? If I got my kids with me, just give me a couple minutes, right?
Wait, if you're eating, no.
Even if I'm eating, just not mid-chew, right? But in all seriousness, I want my constituents, the people that, again, they employ me, right? I want them to be able to come up to me and have confidence that I'm not only going to hear what they have to say, but I'm going to act upon it to the best of my ability. Can we solve everything? Absolutely not.
Right.
But will I try my best with my staff? Will we try our best? Absolutely.
I think that's great. And how does our healthcare philosophy here at Emerest Connect and Royal Care, how does that fall into what you do? Is it because a lot of the healthcare workers are from your community?
Correct.
And so I'm sure that you are engaged in making sure that they are treated well and like what they are doing.
It's closely
aligned.
aligned.
So hopefully we offer that as well for you.
It's very closely aligned, right? Those who care for people also deserve to be cared for.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
If your vocation is making sure that you're taking care of someone who may be at a low point, who may not be physically well, who may not be at their best, right? You should be at your best to take that challenge on.
Right.
There's a reason why when you go on an airplane, they say, hey, before you help someone else out, before you put that device on for somebody else, you got to put it on for yourself.
Oh, right. That's right.
If a healthcare worker isn't good, they can't take care of people in an excellent manner, right? Emerest is making sure that the healthcare worker is treated well, so that they have that spirit, that feel, that ability to go out and do something positive, and that positivity is contagious. Positive actions are contagious.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then even that patient who is being treated, right, they're going to be positive to the next person because their healthcare worker did something nice. So when they call their loved one, when they call their family member, they're going to say, you know, this person, my worker, she helped me, he helped me. And that action is contagious. Like that pay it forward. You pay for something at a drive-through for somebody else, and hopefully the next 45 or 50 people pay for the next person there. Share
that
it, pay
is
it
so
forward.
true. I mean, it's amazing. Any final thoughts?
We're
so happy to have you here.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. This is great. This is a great cross section of our city. The diversity in here, coming to the Bronx, making sure that we're operating in a borough that has been, quite frankly, it's been ignored in the past, right?
It seems like it really has. I always think, I don't know why, French Connection, you know, the movie French Connection, like, you know, about a million years ago. But, you know, when I come, I see it so vibrant and alive and like growing, and I think that's wonderful. It's sort of people like you who really took a stand and said, let's make changes here.
Once you give people the opportunity, it's like the movie Miracle about the 1980 U.S. hockey team.
I love
great moments are born. Great moments are born from great
good.
opportunity, right?
That's so
if you
true.
give great folks in this borough the opportunity to succeed, just like anybody else,
That's right.
with resources and with actual care.
Yeah.
There's no limit to what we can do.
No stopping. Thank you so much, Jamaal.
My
it's
pleasure.
Such a pleasure to have you
Happy
here.
to be
Thank you
here.
so much for being a voice for the community and really caring about it. That's why it's such a pleasure to interview you, because I can feel your passion and your concern and your care, and it's very refreshing from a politician.
I'm just happy to be
and
here.
a fabulous person too. So thank you so much.